Okay, so at this point we've either made all of our sides to our box, or perhaps for time reasons you've taken a few of the already completed ones, which is more than fine. And we have them all in a file here like this. So the next thing I want to show you what to do is how to set up these to be cut on the laser. So I'm going to go back to Inventor, and I'm going to this time open up a drawing. Okay, and it comes up like this, and basically the laser is just a printer, so it's going to print everything it sees, but we don't want to print all this stuff. So we have a sheet here, and I'm going to go ahead and right click on this and delete it, and right click here and delete it. I want the sheet to be completely blank. The other thing is I want the sheet to be the correct size, so I'm going to go right click here, and I'm going to go edit sheet. Now we can get into all the different size, architectural size of the sheets, but we're just going to do a custom size. And since the laser has a height of 12 inches and a width of 24 inches, we'll just set in the default settings for the laser and say okay. And that will put out our sheet that we can build on. So the next thing I need to do is I need to go over here to base, okay? And I'm just going to put in the pieces that I really want, I'm going to customize and so forth. So let's go ahead and hit print, and I'm going to go ahead and definitely put in the top because the top's an important one to me. I want to put something on there, and I'll say open, okay? And a couple things. I want to make sure that it is a 1-to-1 scale. That's super important because we want to cut it out at full size. And if it is, then I'll just say okay. And it puts it right here. Now if I hover over it and I get these like little red ants and I get the 4 arrows, that means I can click and I can move it, and I want it to be in this corner. Okay, because we want to, this is a sheet of wood here, this whole piece of paper. We want to start in this corner and work our way over to the right. So there it is. Now, a couple things I need to do. The first is we need to tell the laser what to cut and what to engrave. Right now, we want everything here to cut. So I could do this. I could click on a line, okay, and that highlights it, makes it green, and then I could right click on it and I could go properties, and I need to change the line weight to 0.01, okay. Anything between 0.005 and 0.001, I think I said 0.01, but 0.001 will tell the laser it needs to cut, and it will change it to a vector and cut. So I'll say okay, and obviously it makes that line quite a bit thinner. Now I could do that every time, but that's going to get tedious, and you guys are going to miss lines. So here's a little trick. If I go to this corner and I want to go over here, but I don't want that. I don't want that little arrows, but I want to get over here, and I click and drag, so I get this pink box. If I go to the right, it makes it green. If I go to the left, everything that completely is inside of that pink box will be selected. And then I can right click, and I can go properties, and I can go 0.001, okay, and that makes them all cut lines, which is great. We want to make sure they're all thin. I cannot just go ahead and grab the whole box like this. If I do that with the red ants, the whole image selected, it won't let me select properties. It's important that when you do this, you get just inside like that to be able to do that. Okay, so that now will cut. Couple things. If we wanted to put in a image, like on my example, I have a bear claw, we could do that. So I'm going to go over to Manage, and I'm going to go Insert Object. Okay. And it brings up this little file here, and I'll go Create from File, and I'm going to go Browse, okay, and in this one I have a bear claw already set up. Now you guys can do any image you guys want to do. A couple notes about your image. For best results, a straight up black and white is going to look the best. You can get into some grayscales, you can get into other things, but it just doesn't always look as good as just a clean black and white. But anyways, I'm just going to use this bear claw. I know it works. I like it. But you could search the internet and find anything you want. I'm going to say open, and I'm going to say okay. And that didn't work, so let's try that one more time. Let's click up here. Let's go Insert Object, Create from file, browse, Vericlaw, open. Okay, there it is. So I don't know why I didn't show the first time, but anyways, there it is. And I'm just gonna put it right here for now. So it has these, if I hover on or click on it and it makes the red outline or green if I move it away, it has these little yellow dots on the corners or in the middle. They're hard to see, but essentially if I hover over them, I can get arrows to pop up. There's one right there. Anyways, I could change the size this way. In this case, I want to change the size a little bit. So make it a little smaller. And then I can move it over to here, kind of get it centered to where I want it to be. That's what it's going to look like there. So that's one thing I could do. I'm going to go over to place views, and I'm going to go base, and I'm going to pull in just my front for now. And I'll say open. Okay. And it's 1-to-1. Looks good. Great. I'm going to move it over, and then I'm going to put it, please put the next one underneath it so we can fill out this whole area and then work to the right. So fill up the vertical first and then work right. And then same thing. I'm going to select, oops, get this out of here. I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to right click, properties, change everything to 0.001, line weight. Okay, that will make everything a cut, which is what I want. I'm going to do something a little different though this time. I am going to, over here, you notice if I hover over these, it has these guys over here. So if I hover over this bottom one, it hovers view to box front. If I hover over this top one or click on it, it highlights view 1 box top. Okay, so I want to go ahead and have view 2 box. I'm going to do something right here. So I'm going to go to sketch. I'm going to go start sketch just like we did before when we were creating our shapes. But I'm going to click on this one right here. Okay, and that's going to allow me to put in some text. And I'm just going to play with some text. So I'll use the text tool. Okay, and I'll put some text here. I'll put a text box right here. I'm going to put, I'm just going to write Yavin's box. Oops. And I'm going to say okay. Nope. That's pretty small, so I'm going to double click on it. Okay, I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to check the size to 0.5. Let's just see what that looks like. I don't know what that's going to look like. That's all right, but I'd rather it be centered. Maybe it's just too big, so I can double click on it again, highlight it. Let's go center. See if that looks better. Yeah, that's not bad. Let me pull that up there, and you know. You guys can play with fonts if you want and so forth. Obviously, it's not as great as like Photoshop or Illustrator or even Word is, but it does have some text capabilities. So I'm going to say that's fine and say OK. And then I'll hit Finish Sketch. And now, so I have text on here. So this will also engrave. So again, this thin stuff will cut. Anything here, image, this will engrave. If that's all I'm going to customize, I'm going to call it good. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to turn that into Classroom so that we can print it. If I want to put something on all the sides, then I can bring all the sides in. Otherwise, we'll just print up copies of all the sides and so forth. All right, I think that covers it. Enjoy.